volunteers were out and about in the valley meeting the homeless as part of a federally mandated point-in-time survey.
Groups of volunteers are at Sunrise Park in Palm Springs early Tuesday morning, reaching out to the homeless staying there. It's all part of the federally mandated point-in-time homeless count and survey. Last year's survey counted nearly 500 homeless in the Coachella Valley.
Problems, struggles, stress, well, you name it. Don't nothing change because you're homeless. You still got to deal with stuff.
I was in the process of filming a street art documentary called The Art of Hustle. And I happened to run into this homeless man selling his artwork actually on the kind of like on the sidewalk bench there. And a thought popped in my head like, I think I would like to reach out to him and see if he'd be a part of this. Because a lot of things with street art, street art to me is anything done on the streets, which you express yourself artistically. And I gave him my business card, and he called me the next day as I was filming at another location. So I hurried up and finished at that location, and then we packed up the film crew and we went down to where he was at. And that's the first time I interacted with him, and I was fascinated by just his sheer drive and fortitude to be in a certain situation as being homeless, but still able to tap into his creative spirit. That's something to me that resonated with me. After I wrapped up The Art of Hustle, the idea came to actually showcase him as a homeless artist with all this creativity and all this great personality. I started to follow him for about 6 to 9 months and got really friendly with him, and he went through his ups and downs with his alcoholism and different things like that. Where I would find him at, it was pretty hard to film him, but he was actually allowed to stay at a vacant building that was owned by a few local business owners in Palm Springs, and they let him stay there. And the funny part about it, they were art lovers, and they allowed him to actually be homeless and live on the side of their building. So what I would do is every other day or whatever days I had free, I would go down there to where his home was on the side of this building, and I would film him as much as possible. Obviously I couldn't do a whole film crew because of the simple fact that it takes a lot of preparation and time. So what I would do was I would just, take my actual camera or my iPhone and just get footage of him and spend most of the day with him as much as I can. Even one time I encountered the owners of the building. They were very cool. They love Scratch. They actually allowed him to actually paint on the actual building, which was fascinating. But yeah, that was his home for about 6 to 9 months that I was filming him. It was this one location here at this building. How Scratch would get his art supplies would be he would actually go into the desert and find discarded materials that he can use for actual, he would use discarded wooden frames. Even he found a discarded canvas, he would paint over those. He said he would make money off of his art, and then what he would do was go to Michael's and get certain paints and different things so he can be creative. So what I did was I was like, you know what, I'm gonna help him get supplies. So I would drop off supplies to him. I would go to Michael's and buy certain things to make sure that he had enough to create. I didn't ever want him to be in a space where he didn't have the materials to create, especially knowing that he had other demons and vices that would distract him from actually creating. I think the only thing that kept him in a sane place was being able to create art. So I would make sure he had supplies, and he would go to Michael's and Revivals, which is a local thrift store in Palm Springs, and get his supplies.
So you got acrylics?
Yeah.
6-pack of acrylics. And then you got your color pencils, water-based color pencils.
Water-based?
Yeah.
Good.
Pastels.
Are you serious? I got pastels. Hey, I already know what these.
Oh man, look at that. I never thought to use it that way.
Oh, look at it.
So what else we got in there? We got some other stuff in there too. Look.
Yeah.
Paintbrushes. I'll hook you up with some paintbrushes and
Man,
stuff.
you did everything. You did.
I told you I was gonna bring it for you.
Yeah, I know. Hey,
So I told you, I'm a man of my word.
yeah.
I would bring you some supplies.
I didn't think about whether you'd come back because I just always enjoyed talking to you. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And that was fun for me. So the way I viewed time was let it go on.
Well, I would say Scratch's style is more so abstract art. I think that everything he creates is actually just a mashup of all the things that's going on inside his mind at the time. And it comes out really, really well. And when I watched him curate, he just goes into this space where it's no holds barred. He just goes in and creates like these wild, abstract type of colorful paintings. He can use distorted frames. He'll put the frame together and then mash the colors. And one time I actually seen him even bite down on pastels. His whole mouth looked like an art piece because he had so much different colors in his mouth. And I told him, hey man, you might not want to bite down on those pastels, but I don't think it was any type of anything that was harmful to humans in it. But that's how creative he got. He would take those pastels and bite them. His teeth would be like yellow, red, green, purple, all these weird colors. And I was like, whoa. So yeah, his mind probably, in my opinion, his mind, what you see on the canvas there, what you see in his artwork that he makes is just a reflection of the thoughts and the things that's going on in his mind at the time.
So Scratch, I gotta go to a meeting here. I'll come back in about an hour or so.
This will be.
It'll be done?
Yeah, oh yeah, it'll be done.
All right, so
I just
you
gotta find a
got
way-
some nice supplies here. So
I love you. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's just beautiful what you've done. I mean,
oh man, look at that.
it's a little bit overdone, but I put some blue on the bottom to base it out.
That's nice.
Yeah, to mellow it out, and I get a little bit of color. I don't know. It'll be a pure color.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I'll be back today. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
back a little later. Give me about an hour, so I'll be back to check that out.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see how that came out.
Now, let's
came
just
out
see.
really nice.
Now let's see. No, we gotta get blue. That's too big. Small.
Came out nice, man. Since the last time I was here.
Yeah.
Look at the progress of that.
As we were building a friendship and filming together, one day I went to go see him and his ankle was like swollen, maybe about 3 to 4 times the size of a normal ankle would be. And I asked him, I said, because he lives out in the elements, did something come up and bite you or what have you?
I think it's maybe a poison.
You think it's a poison?
I'm beginning to believe it's a
Spider bite?
yeah, because it keeps getting inflamed worse and worse.
So you don't want to go to the, you want to just
Yes,
go?
I'm gonna have to go.
All right.
I hate to say it.
I took him over to urgent care. We went into urgent care. They said they couldn't take him because he didn't have ID and he didn't have the proper insurance. So what we did was we went over to Desert Regional, which is the emergency room here in Palm Springs, and they took him. He was there, and I dropped him off there and told him I would see him in a few days. They took him in, they checked him in.
All right. You good to go?
Thank you.
All right. So I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna go to Staples. Then I'll come back.
Where?
Staples. All right. All right.
No, you don't have to come back. I'm sure they'll.
You good to go?
No, but it's,
All right.
doesn't it? Aren't you blowing your mind about what it could be?
No, I think you'll be fine.
I know, but what it could be a spider bite.
Well, we gonna figure it out. It'll be fine.
And when I went to go see him after that, a few days later, he said that he remembered that someone had attacked him and that's how his ankle got swollen. Now, I don't know if that story is true or not. I wasn't able to corroborate that story. To me, it looked like more of a spider bite or an insect bite, but I had to take the man for his word. I mean, we built trust over each other and I took him for his word. And hopefully those people that attacked him didn't mess with him anymore. So after a while, I saw that his ankle got better and he was back to being his normal self, which was pretty cool.
I broke my ankle.
I took you to the hospital.
Yeah, you took me out. But I still have a great attitude. I don't care.
That's right. That's right. You're right
But
about
you
that.
know what? I'm just doing what I do.
That's right.
I keep trying to get better and better and better.
That's right. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
You know, really, that's all you can do.
But you have to know you can get better. You have to see it in your eyes, and you have to believe it in your faith. Because if you don't, then you won't. That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, who did that?
I don't know.
You weren't here?
Nope.
I thought you did it. I said, wait a minute, Scratch turned into a graffiti artist? I was trying to...
You know, I wouldn't do it because they wouldn't appreciate it that owns this place.
That's what I thought, because I knew they let you stay here, so I didn't think you would deface it like that.
But I'll take it off because I did not do it.
You did not do it? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I didn't think so, but I didn't know. All right, now, check this out. Got this some supplies here.
Man, this is great.
Spray paint. You do spray paint?
I don't care what it is. I'll do anything.
You do anything? Yeah, so you got some stuff there. Yeah, so if you want to, I don't know if you got a board or something you want to paint on.
I'll find it. I won't paint on the window.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing about magazines, you pop them open, you got all the backdrop you need once you lay the color.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow.
See how that color pops out of there?
Look at it, pop.
There you go. It's the silver. And see that? Look how that this. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that.
That is a master.
That's a piece.
You know, yeah, the closer I get. Look at it, spellbound.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm quick.
You go quick?
Yeah.
You gotta leave it the hell alone, right? Sometimes you gotta do it.
Cut it out.
Yeah, well,
I love it.
I like it. Looks wonderful. That's too.
Did you really?
Look at it.
Hey, I got the squirrely lines, and when I pushed it, I pumped it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
About less than 6 inches away. Sprayed it, and look at, and it splotched it. Hey, it's yours.
Oh no, man! I'm not gonna take it, bro. It's yours. I want you to make money off your art, sir.
I love it. I want this in the hands of something.
All right, well, I'll take it then.
Thank you. And you put it in your car.
One time I went to film Scratch, and he was visibly upset.
Someone wrote something on the wall here.
Yeah. I got all my stuff gone through and ripped off. You know what I mean? And I wrote thieves. Touch my stuff again, I catch you. That's
Well, who? Someone stole your artwork?
They did that and rousted everything out. I mean, my Levi's, everything.
What do you think it was? The police or just?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the police. It was probably. I don't know, but I know it had to be homeless because I mean, they come through, and they don't. They just rip shit apart. They don't put anything back.
What do you think they do with your artwork if they take your artwork?
Well, I've been told this. They're jealous. Because I can't understand it. And I didn't come up to that conclusion. And some guys, a couple of guys said, hey, Scratch. They're jealous. Don't you get it?
They're jealous of your creativity?
Yes.
So where is the artwork that you had here last week that I was looking at? Where is that artwork, that piece you showed me? Where is it?
I mean, it was...
He, was in tears, saying that
taken by whoever
when
took
things happen to him, when the police deal with him, or he's away from where he's living currently, pretty much is outside. People come up and steal his artwork. Police confiscate his artwork, and he's never seen again. And I think at one point, because I remember before that, he would tell me that he didn't really care if people stole his artwork. But I think this particular time, it struck a nerve with him, and he was visibly upset and saying that police were taking his artwork and not giving it back to him. People were coming when he went away from his home. People were coming and stealing his artwork. So he was visibly upset about that. He thought people were intentionally damaging his artwork. He thought it was other homeless people, or maybe just, people in the area or the police. He was very paranoid about that and very adamant that people were out to destroy him and his artwork. After a few days, he got over it and acted like it never happened.
Scratch, how long you been homeless in Palm Springs?
At least 2 years.
You've been homeless here for 2 years?
The first year I don't remember. I was blitzed.
What makes you stay in Palm Springs?
Probably the same thing you do. But I love the weather is actually fascinating. Going through the winter right now, and it's been intolerable during points of the summer, but there's nothing. At night, downtown, the streets are dead. I sit there and paint. Nobody messes with me.
The reason I'm filming this is to bring awareness to the homelessness in our society, and to understand that these people are people like us. They're creative, they have feelings, and I wish that I could get this message out there and build some type of awareness and maybe get some funding to start an artist shelter for a lot of homeless artists, to give them a place to actually create. Kathryn, she's very unique, very talented woman. She came about from a friend of mine. He knew that I was filming a homeless artist documentary to bring awareness to it. And he said that he always used to see Kathryn on his way home from work under the bridge. And he knew she was an artist because he had bought some of her pieces. Very sweet woman, very, very great sense of humor, personality, artwork was amazing. She did sculptures of a mermaid that was amazing. And I was blown away by her spirit and the things that she was able to create under the circumstances that she was in. Her style is more of a graphite pencil, very detailed. She could draw people's faces spot on. And she was a sculptor, and she would use like these little twigs and little things out of the desert to create such these magnificent pieces of artwork. And some of this stuff, especially that sculpturing, her sculpturing needed to be preserved and maybe put into like a nice high-end gallery. I mean, it was really, really, really amazing, especially with the tools she used to actually create this stuff. It was pretty amazing to me, and I was intrigued by that. She told me she would get her supplies. Kathryn would get her supplies from people just driving by that know she's there. She said that she would be there, and people would just come by and actually drop off supplies to her. Local people or people just passing by that know of her would just drop supplies off to her, and that's how she would be able to create. I'm pretty sure that she's done commission pieces before. I mean, she did an amazing piece of artwork for me that I paid her for. But I'm pretty sure that she had a few selected people that actually paid her money for her artwork. Actually, my friend of mine actually was one of her collectors as well. So I'm pretty sure she's probably made some money off of her artwork, and that's helped her keep going because she's very talented. So I'm pretty sure with the right exposure and the right people around, she will be able to monetize a lot of her creativity and artwork into some type of financial means. Being homeless doesn't define who you are. And I think a lot of people put homeless people in a box and think of them as degenerates or people that's just given up on life or drug addicts or alcoholics or what have you. They're people too. And I think in life we get caught up in this rat race of worrying about ourselves so much that these people are overlooked. I think now in society, I mean, a lot of people might not like me saying this, but I think a stray dog has a better chance than getting help by other people than a homeless person. I mean, just from my experience and looking around. So I just think we're in this weird space where homelessness is frowned upon more than a stray dog on the street or a stray cat. And I think we need to get back to a place where we have love for our fellow human beings and get to know people. Everybody have a story. And some of these stories are very fascinating. After I wrapped up the Art of Hustle, I was in the process of going to another location. And I look at the corner of my eye and I see a gentleman with painting and creating art on the side of the apartment complex. So I said, wait a minute, let's stop here and see exactly what's going on here.
And this piece you're working on here, what's that piece?
Planets. I don't know. Planets. Circles and planets. That over there is the Raptor and Simpsons Ascension. It started out as a landscape, and then I turned it sideways and said, oh, look, there's raptors. Those I can pop out so quick, I figure I can pop out.
Wow, you made that out of cardboard?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. Thank you, man.
You got a summer and winter painting. I don't know what this one is yet.
Well, I see the two people in there, though. I don't know the significance of that. It's like two people walking in like this sea of colors and storms.
I have no clue.
Doing on both sides.
Yeah, I've been doing that just because I don't have the money for more canvas.
This is perfect. It has to be perfect. And most of my art is not perfect. But being a gallery, you have to be perfect. And I like this type of stuff. It's more interesting.
I like the rough edges of the plywood. I do. And this was a bed. It was going to be a canvas.
Get the hell out. That's a bed.
They threw it away yesterday. And I was like, this is a lot of good wood. I'm going to paint on it.
Wow.
When I got out the car and spoke to Will, he told me what was kind of fascinating. He told me that actual day he was kicked out of his apartment. He got evicted from his apartment. And he said that he just said, you know what, I'm just gonna create art on the side of the apartment that just kicked me out. So it was pretty fascinating that particular day that I saw him was the day that he was actually kicked out of his apartment. He just said, you know what, instead of being down on myself, I'm just gonna get in the creative spirit and I'm gonna create. So I got out of the vehicle, I talked to him, and he explained his artwork to me. And he was just there creating, and it was also like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Will did for me, the Tysen, for the documentary The Art of Hustle. I'm gonna pay him for his work.
Thank you,
man. And this is Will's work. Beautiful piece.
Sure is.
A lot of people don't know that I had a small stint of being homeless, and I understand what that is. Not maybe to an extent that Kathryn, Scratch, or Will know, but I understand that because I've been there. I would ride my bicycle all the way down Indian, all the way down for about 10 miles, and I would come here at night. You go in here, you come across here. I didn't even know this was a homeless shelter. I kind of stumbled upon it. I called and said I need somewhere to stay, and these people would kind of let me stay. It was kind of like it was bunks on top of bunks, and they had two sides to it. One side was for women and children, and one side was for men. Now this is the back entrance of the homeless shelter right here, where in the morning time this van here the cafeteria is actually right here, and you'll get your meals, you'll get your food, you get all the things you need, and you would come through this door right here. You would come to this door early morning, I'll say maybe about 7 a.m. So the men would shower, you would shower, get ready, come into the cafeteria, which is right behind this wall. You would eat, and the shuttle buses would pick you up. This shuttle bus would take you into Palm Springs or into
Palm Desert and drop you off at bus stops so you could take the bus stops and go to work. People wouldn't even realize a lot of homeless people had jobs. Like I would go to work and I would see some of the people that were in the shelter. I didn't know them, but I would see them working at various jobs. And I was like, wow, these people are getting up, going to work, but at night going back to a homeless shelter. So that was pretty humbling and fascinating for me. You would lock your bike up right here, and you got a good lock for it. And what you would want to do, because people would, because a lot of homeless people that probably stayed in this shelter, because you only stay for maybe like 3 months until you get yourself together. So it's probably a lot of people that stayed in this shelter. And what happened was, they get released, and some of them get back on their feet. Some of them probably remain homeless, but you only get a certain amount of time to be in this shelter. And had a lot of strict rules, like you had to be in by 8. It wasn't just come in any time you wanted to come in. But what you would do when you lock your bike up, you would make sure that you locked your front wheel, you lock your wheels as well as your bike, because what can happen is they would strip your bike down. They would strip it down. You just be, sitting there with a frame, and it couldn't go nowhere because your wheels would be gone. So yeah, that's something I learned very quickly. So what you would do, like I said, I would park my bike down there, lock it up, make sure I lock the wheels so none of the people, stragglers or people walking around would steal my bike, so I could get on that bike and ride back down Indian and go to work. Sometimes I had to come here after hours, because they're very strict on hours. You had to be 8 o'clock, you had to be in this building. So what I would do is I would call them and say, hey, I'm running a little late, it's okay. And they'll say, yes, you can come in this front door here. I would come in the front door, and the ladies at the desk were so pleasant to me and so kind, they would allow me to come after hours and make an exception for me, because I worked at a barbershop where sometimes hours would go over. And what's pretty ironic about this, that I'm a graffiti artist, is that I'm standing here now. My life is, I've been blessed with the help of a lot of people. And what I can do, I can look across here, and which is ironic. I can look across here and see graffiti across the street from a place that I was homeless in. So it's kind of a surreal moment where it's kind of meshing the two things together. So that's pretty cool. Just to have that imagery and to be able to see graffiti, street art, right across from the place where I had to be homeless and get back on my feet and get back on my pursue my passions. So that's pretty cool to see. Not for the township, but for me, yeah.
Some people are homeless and they continue to be homeless. My stint was short. It was eye-opening. It built a lot of humility in me, and now I operate in the realm of making sure that I cultivate and be good to people and help people when I can with the resources I have, and just be blessed and persevere and keep going.
It's funny because they're probably not gonna even know why I put that there. They're gonna think it's just vandalism, but in actuality, this symbol right here, some of the passion, some of what got me to this point is because of these people. I'm gonna put that there for them. Tell them thank you.
Staying in that shelter gave me all of those tools that I needed mentally to have the fortitude to press forward. It's easy than people think to become homeless. It's humbling. It builds a lot of humility in you, and at some points it just makes you look at the gifts that you have from the Most High, that you actually cultivate them and take them very serious. It gives you a deep appreciation for things, So that's what fascinated me about that, because a lot of people that know me, have been around me, would never ever believe that I was homeless at one point. The life lessons I learned was that, especially being around the people in the shelter with me, was that everybody's trying to do better. Everybody's trying to strive for greatness. And unfortunately in life, everything's not equal. So some people have to work harder than others. But I've learned that just because someone's homeless doesn't mean that they don't want to strive for something better. It's just that moment of actually everything clicking and you get in that opportunity and seize that opportunity. It was fascinating to me to see actual families in there trying to keep their family unit together being homeless. It was very fascinating, very eye-opening, and it made me realize, like, dude, you have to actually be appreciative of the gifts that you have. You have to be responsible with those gifts, and you have to share those gifts. So that's the life lessons I learned: humility, and share with others. And it's not all about you; it's a bigger picture.